Shark Exorcist is one of those movies that I really wish I didn't see. It may look like something that's so bad it's good. It may look like a fusion of Jaws and The Exorcist, but it's actually a fusion of neckbeard cinematography and horrendous acting.
Demon, the power of Christ commands you!
That's the thing about almost dying, Emily. It is a real buzzkill.
Like, I went into this movie with really, really low expectations. I expected it to be horrible. I found it by searching up horrible movies to watch. Somehow, even though my expectations were at rock bottom, it invented a new rock bottom, which is paradoxical in nature, but it happened. It broke through the threshold. While a bad shark movie is not the biggest problem in society right now, it is asking to be purchased with your real-world, hard-earned money. And also, you have to imagine, this thing is deeply offensive to sharks everywhere, and they don't have voices. They can't speak on this matter, so someone's gotta do it. Someone's gotta defend the sharks, and that's what we're gonna do today. So let's just get into this movie, because it is truly strange. Like, there were little glimpses of potential in here, but just generally a lot of bad. The movie opens up on a dramatic-looking nun with her outfit blowing in the wind as she walks through a cemetery. And then there's a radio broadcast in the background that says that the nun got rid of 13 people. So she's not like other nuns, okay? She's an evil nun. She's a demonic nun, which is something that has never been done before, of course. But it does have my attention. Feels like we're going somewhere. But then 1 minute later, she's still walking through the cemetery and she's only moved like 20 feet. So 20 feet in 1 minute, pacing issues, not really a threat. She's ranking very low on the power scaling. And then suddenly the movie takes a turn. The nun gets to where she needs to go. She starts shouting at the lake evilly.
The world has betrayed me. The world will taste my vengeance.
And then somebody walks up behind her. The nun takes this person out and then throws her into the water. And by throwing her into the water, I mean she just kind of kicks her into the water as the other actress helps roll herself in. Props to her though. She's being very helpful here. The nun asks for an avenger.
Lord Satan, send me an avenger!
And then here we see the star of the show, the shark. I gotta say, why make a shark movie if you can't make a shark, right? With this camera quality and everything, they could have made a found footage movie, but they decided to make a shark movie, and if you're gonna make a shark movie, at least make the shark look good. Because this movie didn't have a budget of $0. Apparently it had a budget of $300,000. Where that went? It didn't go into the shark, that's for sure. Truly the scariest thing about this movie is that somebody thought this CGI was acceptable. But you know what's even scarier? Your data being stolen, which is where today's sponsor, Aura, comes in. It can feel really terrible knowing your data was either sold or leaked in a data breach, posted on sites available for anybody to buy. And the worst part is, the scammers who buy your data don't face any repercussions because all of this is legal. While the government isn't gonna help you out, Aura can. Aura keeps you safe online by doing all the tedious, icky work you really don't want to be doing. They identify data brokers selling your info and submit opt-out requests on your behalf. I personally really like that they're continuously monitoring the dark web for me, ready to alert me if they find any of my data exposed among the horrors down there. They're also gonna let me know immediately if anybody tries to use my info to access my credit or bank accounts. A couple of things that I really love about Aura is that they cover you with up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, and the app has a built-in VPN with over 100 virtual locations. You can stop leaving yourself vulnerable to data breaches today by going to aura.com/Savantics or click my link in the description and pinned comment to get a 14-day free trial with Aura to see if any of your data has been exposed. A huge thanks to Aura for sponsoring this video. Now back to Shark Exorcist. At this point, if the movie had been about this nun, it would have been in the so bad it's good territory. But unfortunately, right after this scene, she disappears and you're only gonna see her for like 2 seconds towards the end of the movie. The movie's not about the nun. Say bye-bye to her. Goodbye. Rest in peace. She's gone. Instead, we cut to a very unlikable cast of characters where nothing's really gonna happen for a while. Things are gonna slow down a lot and it's just bad. So after the terrible CGI shark disappears, we get the starring screen where it shows the cast, but honestly, it feels more like a walk of shame. I don't know who wants this acting credit. So we get this nice establishing shot of our 3 main characters, Emily, Lauren, and Allie. And when I said this movie has neckbeard cinematography, I wasn't really joking. It starts pretty early on because instead of a dog sticking his head out the window, we have Lauren sticking her dogs out the window. Feet time. For no no reason. The three of them are driving to their local lake where Emily and Lauren are gonna work on a tan in the middle of a field. Allie's friends really just abandon her, and now she's trying to call her boyfriend, who also won't answer her texts. She really has nobody around her who's good. The only hope she really has to cling to right now is her fun hat, which kind of reminds me of Trisha Paytas. So Allie, being abandoned by her terrible friends and having literally nothing to do, decides to just go down by the freshwater lake, and the CGI shark is back and attacks her. We see phenomenal acting from Allie as she's struggling in the water. As the light is fading from Allie's eyes, her terrible friends finally notice her, and honestly, they really do not care.
My best friend Allie, you gotta stay with me. You gotta stay with me. What happened?
You cannot convince me this is the tone of someone who cares. Oh my god, my best friend is perishing. Allie. Oh no. Allie. She's gone. Allie does turn out okay. I guess they get her to the hospital. Her shark bite miraculously heals. And of course, again, her friends are terrible, and Lauren does not care that Allie's healed from the hospital. Instead, she's too busy getting closer with Allie's boyfriend.
Have you been doing something behind Allie's back with Bobby? Whatever.
At this point, I have to say the movie fails to make you care about any of its characters, which is quite an impressive thing to do, to me at least, because I have watched some truly horrible movies over the years, and even in these awful things I've witnessed, there has been some decrepit character that I have cared about, but in this one, I hope they all get eaten. If I'm rooting for the CGI shark that has been on screen for 5 seconds, there's something going on here. We might need some stronger characterization, because as of right now, all I know about is that Emily exists and kind of cares about Allie, but doesn't sound very convincing. Allie's got a cool hat and a boyfriend who doesn't love her. Lauren is a fiend. Lauren is a demon. Lauren knows one word, and that's whatever.
Whatever.
So we get a random shot of the hospital and then a random shot of a news report. I seriously thought that it was an ad that came up for a sec because the transitions and the shots are just spliced together so terribly. This is the cut from one scene to the other here. That's the movie that did it like that. You can tell that they were just trying to get through the hospital as quick as possible without people seeing that they're filming, because they definitely did not get permission to film there. While the characters are completely unlikable, the movie finally introduces us to one that gives us hope. Nancy Chase, a truly chaotic woman that might be interesting to see on screen. You know, Nancy is introduced as running this show called Ghost Whackers, where she tries to investigate the paranormal. I will admit her belief system is kind of wild, but it is compelling. So understandably so, she does not believe that there could be a saltwater shark in a freshwater lake.
Reports claim a giant shark is feeding on the swimmers. Is that really true?
Valid. But then she says she's gonna get to the bottom of this by consulting 3 fallen spirits via a psychic link.
A psychic link with the troubled spirits.
I must know the truth. I must know.
You know, as crazy as that is, I can't really judge her. It is a little bit relatable. This is basically what I have been doing on my exams as of late. Spirits from beyond. Is it A or is it C? Which resonates? The Ace of Cups. So Nancy was a bit of a compelling character for me for like 2 minutes, but then she got possessed down by the water, and the acting here kind of killed it for me. I do appreciate the actress, you know, throwing her full enthusiasm into the role, but when you're acting possessed and you pull out the whole voice,
These waters are mine.
it's not as compelling. So after this scene, we come back to Allie, and at this point, it's very clear the shark bite is causing her to go through some sort of shark process herself. She's basically like a werewolf, but a shark. She can turn into this possessed shark at times. At least that's how the movie makes it seem. You never see her turning into a shark. You just see a shot of Allie, the shark, and then someone's gone who was there before. Guess they got eaten. The movie is really just poorly stitched together, and it's just expecting you to assume most things. And one of Allie's first symptoms of being a possessed shark is that she's obsessed with soaking in her tub. And of course, you know, Allie again has horrible friends who are not supportive of her self-care practices and shame her.
I just want to soak in my tub.
It's all you do anymore is just soak in your tub.
Girl got attacked by a shark. If she wants to soak in a tub, let her soak in her tub. So Allie hitchhikes, finds a random guy, and eats him. And this guy has like 2 seconds of screen time, but he, so far, is the best actor in the movie. It was really weird. Like, he's not good. He's not good at acting, but he was better than every other character, which I found strange because, again, he's only there for 2 seconds, right? And by good acting, I mean instead of Allie flailing around in the water when she was getting eaten by a shark, this guy kind of looked like he got pulled under. It's not a hard bar to clear, but he cleared it. So his talent here was seen as so exceptional that he got cast again in this film as his own brother, who's a priest. With the introduction of the priest character also trying to figure out what's going on with this shark, and then, you know, with Nancy Chase, and with our 3 main characters, and of those, Allie's kind of off doing her own thing now, eating people, the movie has too much going on. It doesn't have too much going on for a normal movie. Like, any normal movie can have this much going on and it's fine. But for this movie, it's too hard for it to follow its own plot lines. We come back to Nancy Chase and she gets a rival, Brianna Bennett, who is running a show called Ghost Fakers. You have Nancy Chase, right? The ghost chaser. She believes in the paranormal. And then you have Brianna Bennett, who believes ghosts are fake. The chaser and the faker. There's a rivalry. Give me 90 billion enemies to lovers fanfic and Netflix originals on my desk right now. 3 o'clock sharp. There is actual potential in this dynamic, not just for enemies to lovers, but if this was explored further, there's a lot of room for comedy as well as, you know, their rivalry can further the plot. They're both getting to the bottom of what's actually happening with the shark possession because one's trying to prove that it's not a thing and the other is trying to prove that it's a paranormal thing. So they'd both be working against each other, but working with each other to unveil information to the audience about the greater plot here. But instead, this dynamic is not explored unless you count Nancy puking on her as exploration, which I do not. Once again, the movie being nonsensical cuts to a graveyard with 3 people we haven't seen before just rolling around, screaming, running, whatever. And this is fiction, right? This is a fictional story. But this is a real filming location. This is a real graveyard. These are real souls. Imagine you pass away and your resting place is used as a shark exorcist filming location. It's just a bit disrespectful. So I know that there have been a lot of characters introduced and nothing has really been furthered that much in terms of each character's development, right? Allie's friends are terrible. Allie has eaten people. The priest has shown up for 2 seconds but has done nothing. Nancy has puked on Brianna, and these people are just there for a second then they're gone. But the movie decides to add even more characters. But these 3 characters right here might be the most realistic in the movie. So the character here, Sheila, and I don't know, the other 2 are sorority girls. Sheila is trying to initiate them into her sorority. So she basically says, you know, you are being tested. If you swim in the water with a demonic shark and you only come out with, I don't know, maybe half of your limbs gone, you can become part of Alpha Beta Krappa.
But I'm scared!
Boo-hoo. I guess you're not cut out to be a sister, Holly.
Which honestly sounds pretty realistic. Like, I mean, I haven't been in a sorority. Obviously, I mean, one quick look at my room, that's pretty apparent. But from what I do know about them, this seems pretty realistic. I'm pretty sure the initiations are brutal. Honestly, this sounds pretty tame. Here you see the CGI shark, and then you see that Sheila's not there anymore, and the other 2 are screaming. So you have to assume that the shark just ate Sheila. But again, you don't really get to see the shark eating her, which is, you know, I just think that's missed potential. I think we need to see the shark chomping on people. Even if it was like a really bad overlay of the Mario chain chomp eating somebody, even if the shot looked like that, I think that elevates the experience. Now, up till this point in the movie, the pacing has been garbage. It takes a minute for a nun to walk like 20 feet, and then you have some segments where nothing really happens, and then some where too much happens. It's just all over the place. But here it really dives off a cliff. So the priest shows up to Emily's house basically saying, yo, Allie might be possessed by a shark. And then right after that, there is a 4-minute sequence with no dialogue, no nothing, just music and shots of walking through a carnival. just gonna guess here. This was not originally supposed to be part of the movie. I think they just got bored while filming and decided to go to the fair, so they brought their camera with them just to make use of the experience or turn it into a tax write-off. Lauren is walking around the fair with Allie's boyfriend. You know, pretty much the whole budget went into Allie's teeth here. The priest and Emily tie Allie to a tree while performing an exorcism. Allie pulls a Katy Perry at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards on the priest. The priest bargains with the demon, sacrifices himself, and then suddenly we have moon sharks. We have a shark coming out of the moon. Things are a mess, don't know what's happening, and then right after all this chaos, a 7-minute segment where the neckbeard cinematography has made a comeback. It's just 7 minutes of this person laying here while a dude is lurking around. You're seeing this and you're thinking, okay, this has no relevancy to the plot. Was this supposed to be a different kind of video project? Did they pivot away from that last minute? Like, what is this doing here? The nun comes back and goes in for the critical. And then, you know, the nun gets dragged into the water 2 seconds later, and that's about it. I'm still really upset about the nun. Like, I was getting really excited for the terrible nun screaming into the water, asking for an Avenger. I was really excited about that at the beginning of the movie. I thought we were going places with that. The one character I cared about. Yet they discarded her like she was nothing. The movie has an ending that I have mixed feelings about. See, it throws in this really poorly done twist where Emily, who was normal the whole time, turns into a shark, jumps out of the water, and eats Lauren. It's a bad ending, but there is a win in this. She ate Lauren. Lauren's gone. Lauren got a fate she deserved, so can't complain. And I thought it was really weird. When I was watching the movie, I saw this final scene and I looked at the video length and I'm like, why is there so much left? What is happening here? Why are the credits that long? It turns out there was a 9-minute post-credit scene of someone just walking around an aquarium. I really don't know what this place is. It looks a lot like Rainforest Cafe with the gift shop and whatnot, but I'm pretty sure it's just some local aquarium. If anybody knows where this is, let me know, because I'm lost. But I know it looks like a shot that was accidentally included in the file. Like, it doesn't even look like it's meant to be a post-credit scene, but the very last shot of the post-credit scene makes it clear that, yeah, this was intentional. So yeah, that's Shark Exorcist. Again, apparently the movie had a budget of $300,000, which just begs the question, where did it go? I really do have mixed feelings about this movie. I feel like it's almost so bad it's good, but it's just missing the mark. Like, yes, you know, obviously all the bad movie criticisms apply to Shark Exorcist. Like, the camera work was bad, the quality was bad, the lighting was bad, the costumes, CGI, the acting, like, all of that obviously applies here, but the biggest thing bogging this movie down is its inability to follow a proper plot line, and the fact that it just kept introducing characters constantly that you don't really care about, and then immediately getting rid of them. Like, the moral of the story here is don't try to do too much at once. If you have one terrible idea, you go big or you go home. Throw it all into that terrible idea. But yeah, if you liked the video, feel free to like and subscribe. Otherwise, thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.